Welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be taking a look at the 12 motorcycles dealers are quietly removing from showrooms. Number 12, Harley-Davidson Sportster S. The Harley-Davidson Sportster S is quietly slipping out of showroom corners, and the reasons trace back to a machine that never quite found its intended audience. When Harley reimagined the Sportster name with a liquid-cooled Revolution Max power plant, longtime loyalists hesitated, feeling the bike strayed too far from the air-cooled tradition they cherished, while newer riders often found its aggressive stance and roughly $17,000 starting price hard to justify. Dealers rarely announce these decisions out loud. Instead, they simply stop reordering, let existing inventory wind down, and shift floor space toward models that move faster. The Sportster S has increasingly become one of those quietly sidelined machines, with several showrooms choosing to feature the cheaper Nightster or the touring lineup in its place. Harley's own strategic updates have emphasized refreshing its core cruiser and bagger identity, leaving the polarizing Sportster S without the spotlight it once commanded at launch. There is no denying the bike's capability, with its potent engine and modern electronics delivering genuine performance. Yet capability alone does not guarantee a place on the sales floor when buyers consistently walk past it toward more familiar or more affordable options. For a model that arrived with such fanfare, that quiet retreat from prominent showroom positioning marks a telling shift in how dealers now view it. Number 11, BMW K1600B. The BMW K1600B occupies a rarefied niche, and that very exclusivity is exactly why dealers are quietly pulling it from their floors. As a six-cylinder luxury bagger commanding well over $28,000 before options, and climbing past $33,000 once the Bagger or Grand America packages are added, it appeals to a vanishingly small slice of American buyers. Most dealerships simply cannot justify dedicating premium floor space to a machine that might sit for many months awaiting the rare customer who wants a German interpretation of an American touring icon. Stocking the K1600B ties up enormous capital, and that financial reality drives the quiet removal. Rather than keeping one parked indefinitely, many dealers now prefer to order it only when a serious buyer commits, treating it as a special order flagship rather than a showroom staple. None of this reflects poorly on the engineering. That silky inline-six is among the smoothest power plants in all of motorcycling, and the bike's touring comfort is genuinely first-rate. But excellence does not always translate into showroom turnover, and a slow-selling halo model becomes a liability when space and dollars are limited. As dealers prioritize the volume sellers that keep the lights on, the K1600B increasingly disappears from view, available to those who seek it out but no longer parked proudly where casual shoppers might stumble upon its considerable charms. Number 10, Yamaha Bolt. The Yamaha Bolt is fading quietly from showrooms, a casualty of a shifting cruiser market that has steadily moved on from its formula. Once celebrated as a stripped-down, urban-friendly bobber with genuine character, the Bolt has grown increasingly rare on dealer floors as Yamaha lets the model coast without meaningful updates. Riders browsing showrooms now frequently find the space where a Bolt once sat occupied by fresher offerings, and dealers seldom make a fuss about the substitution. Part of the quiet removal stems from how dated the Bolt has begun to feel. With a starting price hovering around $9,000 and discounting common, it struggles against newer rivals that pack modern features, sharper styling, and more contemporary appeal for similar money. Its Torque V8 still delivers an enjoyable, soulful ride, and committed fans appreciate the bike's simplicity and clean lines that invite personalization. Yet enthusiasm from a loyal few rarely keeps a model prominently displayed when broader demand softens. Dealers respond to foot traffic and turnover, and when shoppers consistently gravitate elsewhere, the practical move is to quietly reduce orders and let remaining stock sell through. That is precisely the slow fade the Bolt now experiences. Rather than a dramatic discontinuation announcement, it simply becomes harder to find on the floor, gradually edged aside as showrooms make room for the models that today's buyers actually request. Number 9. Honda Shadow Phantom. The Honda Shadow Phantom presents a curious case because even a dependable, attractively priced cruiser can find itself quietly edged off the showroom floor. Across much of the Shadow lineup, dealers have reported thinning availability, with the related Shadow Aero already dropped from Honda's website and entire regions seeing no fresh stock arrive. The Phantom, priced affordably near $8,700, has been caught in this broader contraction of Honda's traditional midsize cruiser range. The quiet removal reflects Honda's evolving priorities more than any flaw in the bike itself. As the company channels attention and floor space toward the wildly popular Rebel family and other modern models, older-style cruisers like the Phantom receive less promotion and slimmer allocations. That is genuinely a shame for anyone who values the Phantom's strengths, because its blacked-out styling, smooth V-twin, low-maintenance shaft drive, and rock-solid Honda reliability make it a wonderful long-term companion. Owners routinely praise how trouble-free it proves over the years. But classic virtues do not always win the battle for prime floor placement against trendier machines that pull younger buyers through the door. As Honda reshapes its cruiser strategy around what sells fastest, the Shadow Phantom increasingly becomes a model you may have to hunt for, quietly retreating from showrooms despite offering exactly the kind of honest, affordable dependability that once defined the segment. Number 8. Suzuki Boulevard M109R. The Suzuki Boulevard M109R is being quietly retired from showroom prominence, and its struggle highlights how even a beloved power cruiser can fall out of step with changing expectations. This muscular machine, built around a massive 1,783 cubic centimeter V-twin producing around 123 horsepower, has long thrilled riders who craved raw, drag strip-style presence. Yet as the years pass without significant modernization, dealers increasingly find it a tough sell against rivals offering newer technology, leaving many to quietly stop stocking it. A central problem driving the removal is the M109R's lack of contemporary essentials. Persistent concerns about its absence of anti-lock brakes have made some buyers and dealers hesitant, particularly as safety features become baseline expectations and even regulatory considerations loom. There is no questioning the bike's sheer charisma. Those enormous pistons, that aggressive fat rear tire, and the brute force acceleration give the M109R a personality few cruisers can match, and its devoted following remains genuinely passionate. But passion from a niche audience does not fill a showroom or justify prime positioning when broader demand cools. As power cruiser tastes evolve and Suzuki's attention drifts elsewhere, the M109R quietly slides from featured display to special request. Number 7. Triumph Speed Twin 1200. The Triumph Speed Twin 1200 is experiencing a subtle showroom retreat, and the dynamics behind it reveal how even a freshly updated modern classic can struggle for floor space. With the latest generation pushing prices into the $15,000 to $17,000 range depending on trim, and the sportier RS variant commanding a genuine premium, the Speed Twin has drifted toward a price point that gives walk-in shoppers pause. The quiet removal often shows up in telling ways. When showrooms slash thousands off a Speed Twin to clear it, and then hesitate to reorder at full allocation, that is the unmistakable signal of a model losing its grip on prime placement. Triumph's classic range is broad, and dealers increasingly prioritize the more affordable Speed Twin 900 or the buzzworthy smaller Triumphs that attract a wider pool of buyers, leaving the pricier 1200 to occupy a quieter, less prominent corner of the floor. This is not a reflection of the motorcycle's quality, which remains genuinely impressive. The refined parallel twin, sharpened handling, and beautiful fit and finish make it a rewarding machine for those who appreciate it. But appreciation among enthusiasts does not always translate into the brisk turnover dealers need from featured inventory. As buyers gravitate toward lower-priced alternatives and the premium end of the classic segment softens, the Speed Twin 1200 quietly cedes its spotlight. Number 6. Indian Scout Bobber. The Indian Scout Bobber finds itself quietly sliding from showroom prominence, and the cause lies largely in the complicated transitions surrounding Indian's Scout lineup. As the brand rolled out its redesigned Scout family, dealers were left juggling overlapping inventory, simultaneously stocking newer Bobber versions, leftover previous generation models, and a 60 line that appeared to wither. Pricing pressure has accelerated the retreat. With Scout Bobbers ranging widely, some listed around $12,500 while others climbed dramatically higher, the inconsistent value proposition made certain configurations difficult to sell. The motorcycle itself remains genuinely appealing, with its blacked-out attitude, low 25.6-inch seat, and stout 1250 cubic centimeter V-twin delivering around 105 horsepower of authentic American muscle. Riders who own one tend to love its blend of style and capability, but a strong product caught in a messy lineup transition can still lose its featured status, and that is precisely the Bobber's predicament. Rather than a clear discontinuation, it experiences a gradual demotion, increasingly available by request as dealers streamline their Scout offerings around the variants that keep the sales floor moving efficiently. Number 5. BMW G310R. The BMW G310R looks like the perfect gateway into BMW ownership. It carries the prestige of the BMW badge, offers approachable performance, and targets one of the largest motorcycle segments in the market. On paper, it has all the ingredients for success. In reality, however, many dealerships have found it much harder to move than expected. One of the biggest reasons is the intense competition. Buyers shopping for an entry-level naked bike can choose from numerous Japanese and European models that often deliver similar performance while offering a lower price, more features, or a stronger reputation within the segment. That makes the G310R a difficult motorcycle to recommend without hesitation. Another challenge is buyer expectations. While the BMW logo adds premium appeal, many first-time riders are focused on getting the best overall value. Once they begin comparing prices and equipment, a significant number end up choosing competing motorcycles instead. As sales slow, dealers naturally begin giving more attention and showroom space to motorcycles that consistently attract buyers and move off the floor more quickly. Slow-selling inventory is expensive to keep, especially in one of the most competitive classes in motorcycling. The BMW G310R lands on this list because it struggles to stand out in a crowded market, leaving many dealers quietly shifting their focus toward motorcycles that generate stronger and more consistent sales. Number 4. Honda Rebel 500. The Honda Rebel 500 might seem an unlikely entry on a list of bikes quietly leaving showrooms, given its popularity, yet its presence here reflects a subtler dynamic of strategic shuffling rather than failure. Within Honda's own Rebel family, the 500 increasingly finds itself overshadowed, as showrooms devote growing attention to both the cheaper Rebel 300 that hooks new riders and the muscular Rebel 1100 that captures buyers craving more power. Caught between those two poles, the 500 sometimes quietly loses the prime floor reel estate it once enjoyed. This is a removal driven by abundance and competition within a single lineup rather than weak demand. When a dealer must choose which Rebel to feature most prominently, the entry-level model that maximizes first-time buyer volume or the flagship that maximizes margin often wins the spotlight, leaving the middle child to occupy a less conspicuous spot. Some showrooms simply cannot display every variant, so the 500 gets rotated to the back even as it continues selling steadily across the country. There is nothing lacking in the bike itself, which remains a brilliantly balanced machine. Its smooth 471 cubic centimeter parallel twin, low 27.2-inch seat, featherweight handling, and roughly $6,500 price make it one of the finest all-around cruisers available, backed by legendary Honda reliability. Riders adore it, and it consistently earns acclaim. But even a beloved model can quietly cede showroom prominence when surrounded by siblings competing for the same space. Number 3. Indian Challenger. The Indian Challenger is quietly stepping back from showroom prominence, and its story underscores how even an acclaimed performance tourer can become a casualty of price and niche appeal. Powered by the formidable PowerPlus 112 engine generating around 126 horsepower and 133 pound-feet of torque, the Challenger is a genuinely capable machine. Yet with prices starting above $32,000 and elite versions soaring toward $45,000, it commands a sum that only a narrow band of buyers can contemplate, making it a slow mover on most floors. Dealers stocking a Challenger tie up substantial capital in a single unit that may wait months for the right customer, and in a touring market dominated by Harley-Davidson's entrenched loyalty, convincing buyers to choose Indian's fixed-fairing bagger is an uphill effort. As dealers concentrate their limited capital and space on faster-turning inventory, the Challenger quietly recedes from prominent display, remaining a formidable option for those who seek it while no longer occupying the front-and center position its capabilities might otherwise earn. Number 2. Harley-Davidson Nightster. The Harley-Davidson Nightster sits surprisingly high on this list because its quiet showroom retreat reveals a deeper tension within Harley's own modern strategy. Conceived as an accessible entry into the brand with its liquid-cooled Revolution Max engine, the Nightster nonetheless launched at a price approaching $10,000 and has since faced the same skepticism that dogs Harley's water-cooled experiments. The removal unfolds quietly as Harley recalibrates around the cruisers and baggers that define its identity and drive its profits. When a dealer's floor space is finite, the practical instinct is to feature the touring machines and classic styles that customers actively seek, allowing the polarizing Nightster to occupy a smaller footprint or fade towards special order status. The Nightster is genuinely competent, blending classic Sportster silhouette with modern, high-revving performance and respectable handling that rewards riders willing to embrace its character. Those who give it a chance often come away impressed. Yet competence has not resolved its identity crisis, and a bike that satisfies neither the purists nor the bargain hunters struggles to justify prominent placement. As Harley sharpens its focus on what reliably sells, the Nightster quietly drifts from featured display, a telling example of how even a major manufacturer will sideline a model that fails to find its clear audience. Number 1. Kawasaki Eliminator. The Kawasaki Eliminator claims the top spot on this list with a twist, because its quiet showroom situation reflects the volatility of inventory and aggressive discounting rather than outright rejection. Reintroduced as a modern lightweight cruiser built around a lively 451 cubic centimeter parallel twin, the Eliminator generated real excitement, yet dealers have already been seen slashing prices, with some 2025 units dropping toward $5,800 to clear floor space. The quiet removal dynamic here stems from how crowded the affordable cruiser segment has become. The Eliminator competes fiercely against Honda's Rebel family, Royal Enfield's bargain offerings, and other lightweight rivals. And in such a packed field, individual dealers sometimes find specific trims slow to turn. When showrooms aggressively discount to clear existing stock and then hesitate before reordering, the model gradually becomes less visible, even as Kawasaki continues offering it. The bike itself genuinely deserves attention, with its low 28.9-inch seat, modern styling, energetic engine producing around 51 horsepower, and approachable character making it a strong choice for new and returning riders alike. Topping this countdown, it embodies how aggressive discounting and fierce competition can quietly push even a worthy, well-reviewed machine toward the margins of the showroom. And with this, we have reached the end of this video. Make sure to like it and subscribe the channel for future upcoming videos.